Tuning in to the online broadcast network, AFTERBUZZ TV. Over 20 million weekly downloads in over 150 countries, and your number one source for after-show entertainment. AFTERBUZZ TV, the destination for TV superfans. Producing aftershows for over 300 of your favorite TV shows. Interviewing celebrities and showrunners. And bringing you behind-the-scenes exclusives. All thanks to E! Entertainment's Miriam, producer Kevin Undergaro, and internet leader Akamai. Now, let the buzz begin!
Sing it, Sam, sing it! Hey there, AfterBuzzers. Welcome back to another after show of Younger. We are talking all about Season 2, Episode 11, Secrets and Liza. I'm filling in tonight for Tara. I'm Lindsey Miller, and I am not alone. Introduce yourself.
Hey guys, I'm Sam Davidson. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at SamD43.
And of course, you can find me, Lindsey Miller, at Rockin' Mama Life on social media, and all of us at AfterBuzz TV at AfterBuzz TV across all social media platforms. And if you haven't done so already, make sure you go to YouTube, SoundCloud, iTunes. That's the first time I've ever gotten that right without mixing up all those words. And rate, comment, subscribe. Let us know what you think, because there are some thoughts to be had about this episode.
Yes.
Am I right or am I right?
I'm very right, and I just want to say, I'm thanking all the fans because they have written some really funny, very honest comments in the past couple weeks,
Yes.
so keep them coming.
Yes, because this episode, really interested to know what you think about it, especially about the ending, and we'll get there. But just overall thoughts, what did you think of this episode?
I thought that the name of the episode could have been the name for the series.
Agreed.
Yeah, instead of Younger, because when I rewatched it today, I looked up what the name was, and I was like, this is what it should be called, because she's not a vampire. She can't stay this way forever.
Putting down the knowledge on us.
You're welcome.
I agree. I think it's a better name.
Yeah, it really is. And
because it is all about Liza and her secrets and other people's secrets and Liza. It all comes down to secrets and Liza.
I just wish things could be taken care of more before we see it all blow up in our faces in a public forum, which they have built up the finale for. We'll get into that, but it's just scary.
I'm a little scared as to where this season is going and if it will continue, especially after tonight. And this is probably the first time I've really doubted kind of where it's heading.
See, ever since the episode with what's the shepherd or
it's not
that I doubted it. I didn't mind the whole thing, but I was like, okay, Younger, you're crazy.
But it almost feels like they're trying to push the envelope just to get her eyes. You know what I mean? It feels like very Lady Gaga. You know what I mean? Where it's you're just trying to be ridiculous to get people's attention.
I guess, but I also think that I like the idea of ridiculousness, and the premise of the show is kind of ridiculous. So it's bound to happen. And it's entertainment. It is entertainment. I kind of enjoyed this episode because when we talked about the one episode with the shepherd, is that what the name of the shepherd? It's a shepherd, right?
Shepherd, yeah.
I rewound and then went back and watched a couple things some more, and I did that again tonight.
Did some research.
Yeah, I was like, whoa, and I went back, and it did it again to me tonight, and I kind of think they did a good job.
I enjoyed 99.9% of the episode, and we'll talk about the ending when we get there, but I was not a fan. Let's talk about the main thing we have going on in this episode is the release of Crown of Kings, the final book in the series for Edward L.L. Moore, who we have releasing.
It's like Lord of the Rings, basically.
Yeah, like a fantasy. I think at one point Charles refers to it as the overwritten fantasies of a creepy man.
Someone said, yeah, there you are, Boo 69Bs. I feel like they were doing a parody of George R.R. Martin from Game of Thrones.
I don't watch Game of Thrones, so that was
It was either Game of
over my head.
Thrones or Lord of the Rings, whichever it was. They were making fun of one of them.
It's that
I'm pretty
whole
sure.
genre, you know, like the people, you know, the Harry Potter or whatever, you know, any of these kind of cult fantasy novels. But the whole idea is that Charles is freaking out. Everybody's kind of freaking out because the reality is this Crown of Kings and Edward Allan Moore is really what's carrying Empirical.
And that's kind of a terrifying thing, and I think that a lot of production companies in LA, and I'm sure other publishing companies, have that.
Yeah.
You think they just have all this money behind them, and then they do, but it's only because of one weird and something that the general American public doesn't necessarily watch, but it's a lot of international or read international.
Yeah. I think that's probably more common than not, you know, where even if it's like even in manufacturing where it's like one product is really like what carries a line and then like the rest of the stuff is kind of there, but if that one thing failed, they're kind of done. So we have this big launch party in Times Square, and Edward L.L. Moore comes in to the office, and they have to find his like cast of characters that are going to be live on stage portraying them. And so he's casting people, and apparently Liza is his perfect Princess Pam Pam.
She is such I mean, she gets those guys.
She does. She does. She's just like a magnet for the kind of awkward, strange.
Yeah, and I guess
How does Josh fit into that? It's
well,
like,
we
he's
didn't
so studly.
We didn't see him in this episode,
No, we don't
which
see
was very sad.
Well, we haven't seen him. They're broken up. He's done.
he's not.
Well, I mean, if you've seen the previews, he's not.
Oh yeah, well he's kind of there. But I think that Liza, it's just like another version of her being put into something that she does not belong in or does not fit in.
Yeah.
But also, looking at this crazy dude, he thinks that she's
so
young
creepy.
and sexy too.
Well, but then the NPR chick, he also was using the same lines on at the end, which I love that.
Yeah. Well, you know what? He had to lower his standards, I think he realized.
Yeah, so, you know, Liza ends up being this Princess Pam Pam, and I love that they're all, Diana and Charles are like, you will be Princess Pam Pam, like, you're gonna do it. And Liza's not entirely comfortable, and then she gets her costume.
Well, I was just so worried that she was going to open her mouth and be like, as a feminist, and I was like, oh no.
No.
Don't ruin this.
I don't think she would have. I didn't have that feeling at all the whole time.
I felt like she was really close, especially when she was in the costume.
She looked really uncomfortable and like, is this really what I'm doing for my job? And I actually thought that moment was ironic because a lot of times, like women, you know, like the conception is, and the reality is a lot of young women will do things for their career or to move forward that aren't necessarily something they fully believe in, whether it's like selling their body or, you know, like flirting or whatever it is to like make their way up. And I thought it was really ironic, like the situation that she's sort of now recreating herself as this woman who's really in her 40s, but reliving this lifestyle. And she's fallen into this like horribly gross trap of like a 20-something basically being used
and it's
in
like,
her job.
Would a 20-something say something? Because
Probably not.
Yeah.
Do you think Kelsey would have said something? Kelsey
No.
would have been like, I'm banging and taking a selfie in the outfit.
Yeah, she
you
would have
know?
been like, I look so freaking hot right now. I'm Hilary Duff. Sorry.
Exactly. She wanted to wear a slip to her, like,
I
lunch.
just want to talk about, though, the one thing that, God, what is his name? The creepy guy? The author?
Edward L.L. Moore.
Yes, he's like,
Ingrained into my mind. Because the wheelchair, the everything, that it was just, I can't.
if I tell you, I will have to eat
Eat you! Eat you! It's so gross!
And she's like, well, then you don't have to. And then he tells her. And he just keeps on saying that. And
Keep saying it.
It is one of the creepiest things.
It's the grossest line I've ever heard, I think.
Oh.
The writers did a good job on that one. That's so gross.
Ashley Franklin in the chat says that Liza looked like Princess Leia.
I thought she looked amazing in
Yeah,
that
she
outfit.
did.
And I think Charles agreed. He was like, oh, thank you for doing this. A.K.A. I'm so glad you're doing this.
He's like, you're saving my career, and you're also making me even more obsessed with you than I already am.
Mm-hmm. I concur. Yeah, so she has to go. They're wearing the hats or whatever on this stage, the crown, the Harry Winston crown of of kings at the live release. And then finally, this did bother me when they were at dinner with Edward L. Moore and Diana and Charles, and neither of them stepped in when he first was blatantly hitting on Liza in like a very inappropriate way, and neither of them said anything. But then finally Charles does come in as like her knight in shining armor when he's like trying to give Liza his room key basically to like be eaten. Oh, so gross. And Charles comes in and is like, she's got places to go, and sort of swoops in.
He does. Speaking about a really sweet man,
yeah,
I'd like to talk about, people that might be curious about a celebrity's boyfriend's midlife crisis.
Ooh, do tell. Do tell.
Do you guys enjoy hearing stories about behind-the-scenes things that go on in Hollywood?
Yes.
Me too. Amused by old TV and movie references?
Sometimes.
Then you'll love The Tomorrow Show with Kevin Undergaro. Join AfterBuzz creator and Maria Menounos' fiancé, Kevin Undergaro, along with AfterBuzzer co-host Roxy Stryer, Ashley Daniels, and others for all of the insanity. Watch live Monday and Thursday nights, 7 to 9 p.m. Pacific Time on thetomorrowshow.com, or subscribe and download free on iTunes. Go to thetomorrowshow.com for more information. These people are so hilarious. They're some of my favorite people just in general and in Hollywood. They're so entertaining.
Fun show.
Yeah, it's a very fun show. You guys should definitely tune in.
Yes, tune in. And in Liza's pants is where Charles wants to be.
Very badly.
Right? So they leave and they go to dinner. And this is really, I don't know, did you watch the table read from the final episodes?
No.
So on TVLand, there's a clip of the table read from the last 2 episodes. And it gives you kind of teasers into the final episode and then also this one. And it was really interesting because the subtext when they're at dinner or at drinks is that Charles looks at Liza and wants to kiss her, but doesn't know if he should.
Was that from this one?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the vibe I got.
Yeah. So I just thought that was interesting to like have that valid, because I watched it after and I wasn't sure. I was like, I think there's obviously something here, but it wasn't that obvious to me. And then when I heard that in the table read, and I was like, okay, he totally wants to get in her pants.
That's really, that clarifies a lot of things. And also because a lot of times Charles will look at her or he'll say something and kind of tilt his head and smile and you'll think, And then he could easily come up with the fact that, I'm just being friendly, I'm her boss.
No. He saw her in that outfit with the fur and he was like...
It's kind of upsetting. That's what really sealed the deal for him.
With the fur. Yeah. It is sad. But he's a man. So
he is, and we all knew that this was kind of going to be her next love.
But now that I think of it, that is kind of really sad. That this is like.
But I also think that if we would have been able to hear the table reads from the past episodes, it probably would have been very similar things. He looks at her like he wants to kiss her.
Perhaps that's like a common phrase.
Yeah, if any younger writers happen to be watching, which I highly doubt, let us know if that is by chance something that would be in the script for Charles.
Yeah, it's curious. Do you think that they're going to hook up next episode?
If it's not the next episode, then for sure next season. Yeah. And even Josh picked up on the thing with Charles a few episodes ago.
Yeah, it was like a pissing contest.
And I think that Liza knows, too. And this is the first episode where she's like...
she absolutely knows.
Okay, cool. Come at me, bro.
Yeah, she knows. She's not stupid. Also, speaking of Liza, at the Crown of Kings release, her daughter, Caitlin, is in town, and Liza's planning on telling her the truth about her work. And I don't know if she meant, she's telling Maggie, I'm going to tell her the truth about my work. Do you think she meant she's going to tell her the whole thing about pretending to be younger?
Yes.
Or just that she's working at this book company?
Why would Caitlin be so upset that she was working at a publishing company, right? I think that she's planning to tell her the whole thing. And in a way, the way that Liza's making it is worse than it really is.
Oh, so much worse.
She probably
so much worse.
Thinks she thinks her mom is a costume person in Times Square, maybe a prostitute on the side.
Right?
God knows. If she would just tell her, oh my God, listen, I'm just pretending to be your age. Or a couple of years older than you.
Yeah. But how do you have that conversation? Like, that's awkward.
Well, you don't. You just kind of have to find out.
Yeah.
Ugh.
But it's sad. I don't know. It's sad.
Because I think when you say something like that out loud, this is what I'm doing, you hear yourself.
And you realize how sad and pathetic it is?
Yeah. And then how sad and pathetic it is that you're telling your daughter this.
Yeah. Then it becomes real when you have to tell people.
Exactly. And I mean, Maggie is all for Liza to just, like, shut up.
Yeah,
and
she's
keep
like,
on
just
going.
live this life. Like, do what you're doing.
And I kind of love Maggie for that.
I think there's an innocence to that. Like, ignorance is bliss. Like, I think Maggie knows that the second the cat's out of the bag, everything's going to change for Liza, and it's going to get real ugly and messy, and this bubble she's created for herself is going to pop real fast.
Do you not feel that there is a point, and I know it's hard, we've watched Liza through this whole journey, but there was maybe a point she could just slip it in and be like, hey, by the way, I'm 40.
I agree. I don't know. I kind of feel like it's one of those things. So I also watched The Mindy Project, and she's like one of those characters that gets caught in a lie. And I think it's very similar to that. It's like you tell this little white lie, and then the longer you wait to come clean, the worse it gets. The more in-depth it gets, the more
like
involved it gets, the deeper you get in it, like the bigger the transgressions are, the more people you're lying to, the bigger the lies are. Like, just more and more.
You just said the lies are.
The lies are. Mm-hmm. Lies.
Whoa.
Liza.
And now I'm
Perhaps
thinking...
the reason why she's named Liza.
It's probably way too smart. It was
she
just
lies.
a coincidence.
She lies a lot. Liza.
And
Too much.
Yeah, Lisa Payne, Chirico, who we've talked to before, her daughter thinks her mom is taking any job she can to pay her tuition because the dad didn't pay the bill.
Yeah.
Which is a nice thing. And also, we didn't see Daddy again.
Well, but this is what yeah.
Thank God.
Poor Liza that morning after. Like, I cringed for her. But this is what I don't understand. If Liza was going to come clean and Caitlyn cyberstalks her and finds her, why didn't she just tell her the truth then?
I think that she was freaked out. She was about to go on stage in Times Square. And
She'd already gone on stage, right?
Had she gone on stage at that point? I mean, I know it was still a complicated time. Her bosses needed her.
Yeah.
She still kind of had to be this role, whether or not it was before or after she went on stage in Times Square. And it was like, get out of here because someone's going to come soon.
Right.
And they are going to ask who you are.
Okay, but also, having lived in New York City and been to Times Square many a times, if there was an event that big happening in Times Square, I find it really hard to believe that Caitlyn wouldn't have seen it.
Well, I think she got there right after.
Yeah.
And, people get distracted, whatever, but I think it's very funny, the fact that they use that app.
Yeah.
Because my mom, about a month ago, requested my brother and I to have it.
Your mom's stalking you on there?
Uh-huh. She was like, I just want to know.
I'm totally going to, I joked with my friends the other day about, literally putting a chip in my child. He ran away from the babysitter at the park, and I was like, I'm just going to get him, microchipped. They do it to dogs.
My cat has one, yeah.
I'm pretty sure I'm not really going to microchip my child, guys.
I mean,
Don't call any authorities. But I can understand the concept.
Yes.
And
it's fun because it's a reverse thing on what Liza was trying to do to her in the first place. And I'm not going to lie, and I think you might feel the same way, Caitlyn did not irk me as much this episode.
I like Caitlyn. I'm the only one that likes Caitlyn.
No, I thought you were the one that didn't like Caitlyn.
No, I'm the only one that likes her.
Oh, it's me and Dan.
Everyone else hates her.
Yeah.
I like her. I like Caitlyn. I think she's cute. She's funny. And she spilled the beans about her mom unintentionally because Thad, so that's the other big thing this episode. Let's just go there because it's the elephant in the room, so to speak. Thad was being blackmailed by Liza, basically. Liza found the video of him and his, what did they call it? The stall bunnies or stall rabbits?
I think it was
stall rabbits.
Well, I think that he was blackmailing Liza more than she was blackmailing him.
Well, at first, she was blackmailing him because Liza had this video and she was like, you need to come clean to Kelsey or I'm going to tell her.
That's not a blackmail is like a give for a give. So she didn't, what he did was blackmail.
Well,
And
okay.
what she did was just
She
a
just
threat.
threatened him.
Yeah.
Okay, so fine. Liza threatened him, and so then he came to Liza's house. And I
And
forget
her,
why.
well, and the work
He came to
before.
the work, yeah, and then told Kelsey that he was trying to plan the honeymoon.
I literally was sitting there and I was like, he's going to say freaking honeymoon. Oh, honeymoon destination.
Yeah. Well, I mean, what else are you gonna do? I love that she's like St. Bart's. Poor Kelsey. I love that she's just so stupid sometimes.
I'm going to say ignorant. Ignorant. I mean, if she was stupid, she would not have this imprint.
I guess she's lacking in some of the street smarts. I think perhaps.
Oh dear,
The
this is just
common
not.
sense.
It's not gonna end well for Hill.
Stuff. Oh, poor
Duff.
Hill. She's gonna be so sad. So, anyways, Thad goes to Liza's house, and Caitlin is walking up, and he's trying to get Caitlin to buzz him in, and he says he's looking for Liza Miller, which is also my last name. We're not related. And
Shocker.
she's like, "Oh, she's my mom." And then the wheels start turning for Thad, and
When the wheels
This
start
moment was
turning
great.
for Caitlin, who she goes, "Oh no, please don't tell
I
me you're my
know.
mom's new boyfriend."
I love that line.
Yeah, she's like, "This is getting ridiculous," and
it was adorable.
it was really funny because how old is she? She's 20. Or no, I think Maggie made a comment about you're not legal yet, so I think she's probably 20.
20.
And that is probably 20.
Because she's in college, so she's probably, 20.
Yeah. And that's probably 27.
27 maybe?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So but when you're that age, that still, I guess, seems older.
Yeah. 27. Like when you're in college and then somebody is like a working professional, there's a big gap there, I think.
Yeah, and that's good because
I thought, okay, did you think for a second that like Thad was going to hook up with Caitlin?
no.
I thought for a little bit like that was where they were going, and I was like, that's so wrong on so many levels, but it would have been good.
I was like, Thad must literally be a monkey to do that. Like, literally a full-on jungle animal to put aside his blackmail tendencies.
Well, no, I didn't think he was going to find out that she was... I thought when he first walked up and he saw her there, he was going to just see a hot piece of ass and, like...
Be like, oh,
hook up
never
with-
mind about my thing.
Try to hook up with her. So anyways, he goes and he's like, all right, something is up. He's doing the math, and he gets his buddy to help him onto the Dartmouth alumni
And
account.
it's hilarious. He was trying to break on, literally guess the password.
Yes.
And I'm like, just dude. And then he finally just called him.
Yeah.
But still, he's trying to break through on a Dartmouth alumni account.
Hey, you got to do what you got to do.
He thinks he's very smart.
He thought he was very smart.
Oh.
Oh, bad. So he gets into the alumni account and finds out Liza's real age, and he's like, whoa, what the what? And
he just starts laughing.
Yeah. Well, this is my favorite part, I think, when she's at drinks with Charles and just gets a text. Like, instead of, like, calling or anything, he's like, we should talk, and then sends a text of the picture of her from her Dartmouth graduation in, like, the 90s. Which was just, I thought that was probably the one moment of brilliance that had on the show.
That hair in that picture
Oh, my gosh.
was really great.
It was very...
I want to see some flashbacks now that I think about
I
it.
know.
That'd be really
I
fun.
would love to see flashbacks of, like, her life as a mom and, like,
I'm pretty sure
kind of this
Sutton
life
Foster
before.
is like a real life vampire. Truly.
Oh, yeah, she doesn't age. Did you
Ever.
see her body in that outfit?
I'm like, you have had children? She's had children in real life, no? No? I don't know.
I don't know.
Actually, let me look this
I'm
up.
not sure that Sutton has had children. But, children or not, she looks darn amazing.
She really does.
Yeah. Yep.
You know what?
Has she had kids?
She might not have had
I don't think
kids.
she has kids.
Nope, I don't think she has kids. Well,
No.
that would make a lot of sense for the banging bod.
Hey, you can have a banging bod and have children.
Yeah, just look at
Just
Lindsey.
saying.
Seriously, you're right.
Perhaps not the poster child, but...
No, do your yoga. You're good.
I do my yoga. I love yoga. So Liza goes to meet with Thad because obviously he's going to spill the beans on everything, and he thinks he has the upper hand. And he says, "You're gonna get rid of that video, and I'm gonna tell everyone. And here's how this is gonna go down." And what does he say? He says to her, he will let her keep her job as long as she keeps him happy.
Yes, and he also said at the beginning, "You stressed? Have you aged like 14 years since the last time I saw you?"
Funny.
And it is. It's kind of funny.
That had some of his shining moments, I think, in his final episode.
Like a little bit. I mean, I get it. He was getting into like a gossip girly area, and it was going to be annoying. But okay, let's talk about what happened.
So obviously, Liza has this epiphany, and she's like, "You can tell anybody you want. You don't own me. I'm telling Kelsey." And she walks away, and Thad's like, "What?" And then a giant crane drops a big metal construction thing on him.
Yeah. Boo69B says karma came for Thad at the end. And I thought the same thing, Boo69Bs. I did.
I thought it was super lame.
You did, and I came in thinking, oh my god, I was about to text Lindsey when I was watching this episode, being like, how crazy was that? I didn't think it was lame.
I thought it was a cop. I thought it was a cop-out on behalf of the writers. I'm just saying.
I think that it's gonna, Liza's going to tell it on her own accord, and that's gonna be part of it, but it's just another level of crazy and sadness that I don't necessarily think that we need.
I think that's kind of the point. I thought it was unnecessary, and I feel like it was a cheap out. You know what I mean? Like, it just cheapened the show to me. I think it would have been far more interesting and revealing to see if Liza really did tell the truth and come forward, and who Kelsey believed. Did she believe Liza? Did she believe Thad? Like, what sort of happens there? Does Liza come forward but still spare Kelsey the pain and not show her the video?
And that, to me, that will be a cop-out.
Yeah.
I will hate that.
Oh, she's not going to show him the video. She's never going to see the video.
Well,
could you do that? If, like, you knew your best friend's fiance was cheating on her and you were going to show the video and then he got killed in, like, a freak accident, would you be like, I'm sorry for your loss, but he was a cheating bastard? Like, that's so wrong to do.
Honestly, I would.
You would?
I would,
because... That's so awful. Let them have that memory.
I don't know. I think that they should know. They shouldn't feel that bad. A douchebag died. But,
no,
okay.
because their feelings were real for that person. And then you're leaving them with so many unanswered questions and so much pain and so much hurt on, like, 10 different levels.
Lisa Payne says lame or very Sex and the City, but I don't remember that stuff ever happening in Sex and the City where something was
Me either. Where someone died so randomly, which... And Sam did ask me before. She was like, does that happen? Because I lived in New York. And I was like, well... Yeah, that was kind of one of my biggest fears living in New York, because scaffolding does collapse on people often, and usually they die or are seriously harmed.
What's really interesting, though, is that I know what's going to go through Liza's brain. Like, Thad grabbed Liza very aggressively, and, and she pulled away and, like, walked away, but what if she didn't? She
would have died.
Yeah, she would have died. So it's...
Ooh, do you think her DNA is on Thad and they'll find it and think that she pushed him underneath it?
Well, there's going to have to be a conversation.
I'm just posturing, guys.
There's going to have to be a conversation to be had, though. I mean, honestly, just in case CSI gets up in there and they tell Kelsey that your best friend's DNA was on him.
By the way, I did call that Thad was going to find out about Liza.
Yes,
and he was going to blackmail. I was very vindicated this episode in that.
I talked about you last week. You were not here because you were not feeling well, but I was just like, oh my God, Lindsey said this.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I give you
guys.
tons of props because I didn't see it.
I did not see the anvil falling coming because I did not think that this was a Roadrunner cartoon. That's what it felt like to me.
That's really funny.
It felt like a really smart, pushing the envelope, like, cheeky show all of a sudden turned into, like, a Roadrunner, like, cartoon.
Well,
didn't it a little bit? I mean, he could have been hit by a car or, like, it was so...
I think
I
that
don't know.
maybe part of the reason that it was specifically that was because it could have been Liza too, and there's going to be some guilt factor in there, which I
don't think she's going to feel guilty. You think she's going to feel guilty?
Yeah, I do.
That she didn't die under the anvil? She hated that.
Or that it's like if we weren't there and we weren't fighting.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's true. If they weren't having that conversation there. Did he pick the location?
Yeah, I guess it's his fault.
Or maybe someone saw it. Maybe one of his coworkers saw it.
Yeah, well...
And they'll call out Liza for being there.
Yeah.
That could be interesting.
On that, I mean, there's a lot of stuff we saw for the next episode.
Yeah.
Which is exciting. Lots of people in the chat are talking about it. You guys are awesome.
Yes. So speaking of the next episode, what do we think the next episode is? The finale.
Yes, predictions?
Dun, dun, dun. I think it's time for predictions. Yeah?
And now, your AfterBuzz TV predictions.
Lay them on us, Sam.
All right. Well, I'm not copying you guys in the chat, but I'm just
Not
gonna...
copy. She's cheating. She's
cheating a little bit.
From the chat room. That's not fair.
Well, you guys said
You're
a
gonna
lot of
out-predict
things.
me.
You guys said a lot of things I was thinking. I was thinking that in the next episode, we see Kelsey in the preview say, like, why were you there? So we know that she knows that Liza was there, because I'm sure when the whole thing happened, Liza stayed and was in shock, and the police came, and she probably gave a police report and just so happened to be there. And that's
Do you think she calls Kelsey and tells, is she the one that tells Kelsey?
Oh, that's not good. I don't know. I have no idea. But if Liza does not come out with the truth after this, then I'm kind of going to be really pissed.
But you know what? That's so hard. Because how would that conversation go? You know, like, Thad found out that I was not who I said I was. Well, why would Thad find that out? Oh, because he was...
I know.
You know what I mean? Like, without... Because I do not think that Liza will reveal the video.
Maybe she won't... Yeah, you're right.
Or the information about him cheating on her. I don't think that she will offer that up.
Because he's dead and it doesn't matter?
Because he's dead, and not that it doesn't matter, but it will only do harm. You know what I mean? Like, Kelsey's already hurting so much, and it will only do more harm. So what's the point? You know, it's not saving her. To tell her while he's alive will save her the heartache of being in a loveless marriage and, you know, finding out that her husband is a cheater and a horrible, unfaithful guy. But now there's no... You know, there's no silver lining to telling her this horrible news.
Do you think that Kelsey really loved Thad?
No. I don't think either of them loved each other. I said that the second they were engaged, I think they're both checking off boxes.
Because I saw two previews. I saw one where Kelsey looked very sad and the other where she just kind of looked like, oh my God, this is just something else I have to do. And for that reason, I kind of want Liza to tell her. Kelsey, and I think Liza is going to plan a big thing to out herself, and she's going to have it strategically planned, and then someone else is going to out her. Maybe on purpose or by accident, but I think someone else is going to do it, and she will be meaning to do it, but never does.
Well, she's always meaning to do it.
Well, you know.
She never does.
And Josh has to come back. Someone else said that they have to have, let's see.
Well, Josh shows up on her doorstep, and we see that happens.
Oh, like a
little lost puppy dog.
Yes.
And Liza runs away at some point. They allude to that, like pushing Liza to run away. What do you think happens that pushes Liza to peace out?
Maybe she goes back to the shepherd and is like, I need this life without my cell phone.
She doesn't go back to the shepherd.
I'm just kidding.
I think Liza's going to be the one that tells Kelsey what happened to Thad. I think that she's going to be probably in shock and, like you said, like there with the police and stuff like that. And I think she's going to call Kelsey and be like, something terrible happened. I don't think she's going to reveal the cheating.
Lisa Payne said that Liza could just say they were meeting to plan a wedding surprise.
Well, I mean, But then she could get herself in trouble because Kelsey knew that it was about the honeymoon. And so if Liza then offers up something else, then it's going to spark something to Kelsey. Probably not in the moment because she'll be too in shock from everything, but maybe after the fact. Like, wait, this doesn't quite line up. which I think is interesting. It's an interesting idea.
Yeah. Now think about it. Kelsey could go on his computer to see what he was planning. Yeah.
And see the Liza stuff. But there, in all the previews they talk about, or in like some of the previews they talk about how Kelsey and Diana feel like they pushed Liza to do something.
To do what?
I don't know.
Oh, and they said, I don't know
There's
where you...
something that they did that is pushing her in this final episode to do something that they're concerned about.
Yes.
And I find that interesting.
I do too. I'm also glad Diana's kind of joining the squad.
I love Diana. I've been a fan of people that nobody else likes this whole season. I like Caitlyn. I love Diana. She might be one of my favorite people.
Well, you know what? I think I'm the worst because I kind of liked Thad.
No, I hated Thad. I was not Team Thad. He was the only one that I was like, thanks, but no thanks.
Lindsey looks at me, she goes, no wonder you're single. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, if that's the kind of guy you're drawn to, no Thad, no. But I do also think that it's going to come out about Liza, and I think it's going to be big and public and ugly, and I think that's why Josh is going to show up at her doorstep. Or Kelsey's going to call him and say, we're really worried about Liza, we haven't seen her, blah, 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 and Josh is going to come to her rescue.
Oh, I like both of those.
Those are my two picking endings.
Those are very good.
Yeah. But I also think Charles, I don't know.
I forgot about the Charles.
Ooh, I got one, guys. Final answer. They're going to be concerned about Liza. Liza's going to end up with Charles. Charles is going to rescue Liza.
Is she going to tell him the truth?
And she and Charles, maybe she'll tell him the truth, but I don't think so. But she and Charles will be together, and Josh will be waiting at her doorstep, and he will see the two of them.
Oh, that's so soapy writing.
And that will be the ending. That will be the ending. Will be Josh seeing Liza and Charles, or Liza getting out of a taxi or something with Charles kissing her goodnight or something like that.
Oh. If Liza is smart, then we think the best person to tell would be Charles. So it could be like, listen, I know you're obsessed with me, and this is the truth, so let's be together, and I'll tell everyone the truth, and you can protect me, and you will protect my job.
She would be a smart choice.
Yeah, like, because you know that if she told him the truth, he would actually be happy, because he's not going to feel creepy.
Yeah, he would feel less creepy.
He might be pissed a little bit. But I still think
he would be really upset. I go back to that episode where they lied about the imprint with Jade.
Yeah.
And how upset he was just that they weren't forthcoming with him.
Yeah, but I think that he's so enamored.
And he's been so honest with her. You know, like he was about to tell her like what he would do with his career. You know, he opened up to her about never really reading books as a kid, and you know his favorite books were like comics because he told his teachers he couldn't read books because it would affect his eyesight. You know, like he was very honest with her, and he told her, you know, about the Crown of Kings, how he kind of hoped it flopped because the pressure of feeling like he has to keep this, you know, entire publishing company afloat is really intense, and he kind of just wishes it would fold and he would have to do something else. I just think he's been so honest with her on very intimate details of his thoughts that he probably has never said out loud to anybody else. I think he would be devastated if he found out the truth.
Well, I think he'll be relieved. I'm so excited to see what happens.
I don't think he's going to find out. I think she's going to go running. You know, the more I think about it, I don't think anybody's going to find out.
I'm going to be so freaking mad.
I don't think anybody's going to find out. I think she's going to be so traumatized from the Thad stuff, and something's going to happen, and she's going to go MIA, and Kelsey and Diana and everybody's going to be worried, and they're going to reach out to Josh, and Josh is going to go try to save her, but she's going to be with Charles.
Ooh, maybe she'll write a really beautifully written letter.
And she's a good writer.
Peace, I'm out. Yeah, that's exactly what I think she's going to do. It's going to end with that, and then they'll have to find her because they're obsessed with her anyways. Oh, those are good ones. I just got the chills.
What do you guys think?
Yes.
Let us know your predictions. Season finale is coming up. It's going to be good no matter what it is, or at least surprising, because apparently they'll just drop anvils on you if they feel like they don't want your storyline to continue. So this episode, while it wasn't my favorite ending, at least goes to show you that you can't expect anything from them. Sam, tell the good people where to find you.
You guys can find me online at samdavidsonentertainment.com, Twitter and Instagram at samd43, and on Snapchat at samdavidson25.
And you can find me, Lindsey Miller, at Rockin' Mama Life on social media, and all of us at AfterBuzz TV at AfterBuzz TV. Make sure you comment, let us know your thoughts. We love getting your feedback. We love the feedback in the live chat, and we love to hear, see your comments throughout the week. So hit us up, and we'll see you for the finale next week.
And don't worry, Dan will be back, guys.
Yes, and Tara.
And Tara, too, but there's lots of Dan missing.
There's a whole lot of Dan missing.
Thanks, guys.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.